Today, from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, this is Madden Football on EA Sports. We'll see Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns taking on Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers.
We are just a stone's throw away from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as we get set for football at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The dog pound in full roar as their Browns emerge from their tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the San Francisco 49ers. Here's the Australian-born punter Mitch Wishnowsky to get things going. And off we go from Cleveland. Now Donovan Peoples-Jones. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here's the Cleveland offense, and here's Baker Mayfield, former Heisman Trophy winner, ready to go at quarterback.
It was so interesting in the run-up to the draft to talk with different scouts. I got one to tell me that in his notes he wrote down, Mayfield, brash, happy-go-lucky, plays the same way, barely restrained improv act that frustrates opponents and sometimes his own coaches, but produces plenty of highlights. What do you think of that?
They'll run for the first time with Kareem Hunt. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. From the gun, Mayfield. He finds Beckham complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. First down, Cleveland, Mayfield to Beckham.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. And incomplete on the deep ball. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
Similar to a shooter in basketball, just connected on the previous shot. They run another set for him on the next play. Now, we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
Watch the curl. Hey, check Mike 57. Mike 57. Let's go.
Play fake. Mayfield. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38.
Well, things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone, this time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. He'll get this one underneath to Hunt. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, he'll have to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal.
What we got? What we got? What we got? Right there.
Mayfield to throw it. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Solomon Thomas, they'd love to see that from him as he slips in for the sack.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
Can this defense get the stop on the opening drive? Here's 3rd and goal.
57's the mic.
Mayfield. And it's caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Browns take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Right off the bat, they start with a very solid, methodical 10-play drive.
And you know me, I tend to look at things from the defensive side. They're coming off the field gassed right away. We're in the first drive of the game. So it's not just what happened, but think of the emotion you carry into a game, then double it with getting a 10-play drive put on you and points scored. They're pretty tired right now.
It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The former second-round pick back in 2014, Jimmy Garoppolo trotting into place, looking to guide this San Francisco 49er offense.
And when Jimmy Garoppolo came out of Eastern Illinois, many people saw a strong-arm guy, well-schooled in the passing game, who needed a little bit of time to develop and reach his potential. Starting to go in that direction right now. A former linebacker in high school, he plays the game with a lot of toughness.
Here we go.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10, right at the 30. He'll set up the throw from the gun. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Here we go.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Here's Jerick McKinnon, his first carry of the ball game. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Here we go. 56.
Garoppolo on 1st down. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
4 receivers now, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. 2nd down and 4. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And down right around the 37. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 37-yard line. Garoppolo gets this into the hands of Taylor. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the gun, they will run with McKinnon. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st.
Here we go. Pick it up, defense. Let's go. Check that 3 for Mike.
On 1st down, they go with Mostert again. Open space inside the 10. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. 24 yards. And the 49ers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive in total 8 plays.
And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Raheem Mostert.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked out officially at the 21.
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They go with Chubb on second down. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, 70 yards, and the Browns have taken the lead. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And up he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
Parkey with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Mostert. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
Here we go. 180. Cut. 56. Mike, 56. Right there.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
4-yard line.
Here we go.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down.
Watch the screen. Check 93 for Mike. 93 for Mike.
Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 7 yards there and a first down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
56.
Garoppolo looks to throw once more. Got the connection here to Bourne. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First down, San Francisco. The pickup, 14 yards.
Here we go.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. But business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away. But it does get away and it's 2nd down. Just his 2nd incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Here we go.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. And yet again, it's Garoppolo. Open man is Bourne. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. Garoppolo again. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. That catch good for only a couple.
2 brings up 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. This is caught. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. A 5-yard touchdown. And the 49ers are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
CD for them, this has just been an offensive explosion here in the second quarter.
Yeah, held scoreless in the first quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the second. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment. You have to change what you're doing. Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. A 10-play drive that time. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Peoples-Jones returning. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
The Browns take over 1st and 10.
Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland.
And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. A couple completions, you string them together. Could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. Open man is Higgins. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Mayfield looks to throw. They'll go screen here to Hunt. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the gun, Mayfield. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards there and a first down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. That's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Now how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Every year, yeah, I earn that. At the front of this line is where my turn at.
Now Cody Parkey out to try the field goal. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Here we go.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll move the chains.
On the play. First down, 49ers.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. Garoppolo, a final shot here before half. He'll let this go deep for Bourne. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. We saw a strong first half from our quarterback. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up.
Here we go.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here first and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now McKinnon to start the drive. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10. Garoppolo now. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down.
He'll get this into the hands of Mostert.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes I forget how much information he has to go through before the ball's even snapped, but what a diagnosis right there. Saw the play, shot through the gap like a rocket, ends up spilling it for a loss.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, check Mike 57, Mike 57.
They run again with Hunt. And look at this, for the 2nd straight play, the 49er defense drops him for a loss. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Well, 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know half of your body is trying to stay behind while the other half is reaching out, trying to catch the football. The top half worked. It was the bottom half that was in question.
And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away.
And bulldozing his way through. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10.
San Francisco set to go on offense once more.
And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Garoppolo now, first down throw. Finding Bourne here over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
49er first down.
Here we go. Wait, check.
Garoppolo going to give to Mostert.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Once again, it's Mostert.
And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 33. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Mostert. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
Second down, Mostert.
And a short gain down to about the 33.
After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times. And what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo.
Looking underneath, and he finds McKinnon.
He'll get the first down and more inside the 20.
And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
First down, San Francisco. The pickup, 14 yards.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jerick McKinnon there. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that one's going to be off target and incomplete. Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. That's into the hands of Dwelly. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Incomplete. Greedy Williams on the coverage.
So Garoppolo off. Coming on is the veteran Robbie Gould for the 49er field goal. And in his 15th season, he's able to get this one to go. And the 49ers take a 3-0 lead.
Browns 14.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake, because the extra point's not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
6 figures every year, yeah, earn that. At the front of this line is where my turn at.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
I got him. Mike 54.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Quickly into the hands of Beckham. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 11 yards there, first down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Mayfield on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Man, I got you. 57 to Mike.
Mayfield to throw it. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line.
They'll throw again. Here's Mayfield. Looking for the out route. It's completed to Landry. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. They'll get 13 yards for the second play in a row.
That's another Browns first down. First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10, right at the 40. Buying time to his left. He's going to take off with it. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Now a 2nd down and 6.
Now Mayfield. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Rashard Higgins was the one he was looking for. And now it's 3rd down.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Mayfield down. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a 1st down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
Cody. 17-17 the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. Here's Richie James on the return. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
On the return, the Niners take over 1st and 10 at their own.
The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
And we essentially have a brand new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this 4th quarter.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 27.
He'll look to Mostert to start things out.
He'll have a 1st down past the 40, and he'll take it to the 43-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. This is Mostert. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Here's Mostert. And he's got room. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now they'll throw with Garoppolo. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard at the 23-yard line.
Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Again, they'll run it with Mostert down to the 25. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. So a big kick coming for Robbie Gould. This for the lead in the final stages.
42-yard attempt.
The kick by Gould is good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
20. Browns 17.
Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
On the return. The Browns take over 1st and 10.
Now Mayfield and the Browns. Down 20-17. Less than 90 seconds to go. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. They'll look to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
8-yard line.
Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. Mayfield. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Counting down to 30 seconds remaining. Mayfield to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now Mayfield. This pass complete to Higgins. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Here's Mayfield. Flushed out right. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll give him a fresh set of downs.
Now this is a feeling I can relate to all too well. Deflation on 3rd and short. Excellent coverage. Took away all the short routes, but the one person who wasn't accounted for, the quarterback, and he used his legs to hot-foot it for a 1st down.
Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cleveland.